shelter in the shadows from the creatures of the night. Tentacles that slither just out of sight. Dark curses conjuring an endless dreadful blight. Beware the evil that goes bump in the night, lest you give yourself a fright with Mystic Moon tonight.
I love it. Every time that intro. Love it.
There we go. I think I'm unmuted now. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to Mystic Moon Cafe Radio this evening. We're going to talk a bunch of spooky shows, and not necessarily ghosty shows, but spooky shows. And we have Jacob to that side. That weird way. We got Michael Merle, and we have Amanda Quill, the ever lovely Amanda Quill. Yay!
Hello.
Hi, gang.
So, kick it off, kids.
I mean, let's be real. I'm going to go to the Canadian quadrant. Oh, she just dropped off. Merle, you're up.
Oops.
What's happening?
You lost your video.
I need the other 25% to make this a clean 50% Canadian content.
You know, we'll make sure things are represented.
I will be right back. There we go. No?
Here we go. So, Amanda. There we go.
God.
Amanda of Coldspotters, British Columbia, Vancouver area.
I just needed another intro.
Okay.
A whole other intro?
Yeah.
My question for you is, what you watching?
What am I watching? Well, it's funny because I haven't always watched all these spooky shows, and I'm a little bit of a wimp, so I'm kind of now getting into it. So my big thing, of course, is Sandman. I'm a big Sandman fan. But I'm actually like redoing X-Files right now, so this is kind of really fitting for me. Other than that, like ghost shows, like I don't really watch a lot of them. I mean, it's like, sorry, it's getting a little warm in here, so I'm just going to take off my jacket here for a second. Yeah, that was weird. That was strange. Yeah, so I don't really. I don't know, ghost shows. No, but I love the recreation shows. I love ghost stories. So that's what I do.
Okay. Merle, also representing the Vancouver, British Columbia area of the Commonwealth of Canada, formerly the Dominion of Canada.
I like to call it the Dominion.
I do. Dominion has that's kind
Sounds
of
cool.
Yeah, it's also Borg-esque though when I hear stuff like that, But what you watching, bro?
Ghost wise, I like the recreations as well. I quite like A Haunting. That show never gets old. I've been rewatching Unsolved Mysteries, the old one, and like Amanda, I've been rolling hard with the X-Files. Those are my go-tos right now. And what I'm trying to find, I've been scouring Amazon and I've been scouring eBay. Y'all will probably remember this show from the early 90s, Sightings.
Oh, yeah.
Every Friday night, it was Sightings, then Rescue 911. Those were the days.
That was a good show.
Friday nights.
Yeah.
As for the ghosty shows, like the Ghost Hunters, the Ghost Adventures, the Keshas, the Portals to Hell, we're live.
No, go ahead, talk shit. I mean, that's what we're talking about. If we've got ghost hunting shows, the bullshittery is going to be up to here. So have at it.
They're very dramatic. They're getting away from the art or the craft of the actual paranormal investigation. They're more about the drama, and everywhere has a demon, a ghoul, or some sort of entity that is going to take your soul. as a ghost hunter or a paranormal investigator, I've never come across anything that was going to take my soul or was a demon or was evil. Personally, we've all come across dark things, probably, or pissed off things. But I've never seen so many demons in my entire life on these shows. Or because let's be honest, how many times? How can I explain it? These people go into a lot of the places thinking they're going to die, but how often is that? There's no documented ghost hunter that has died on TV.
That was killed by a ghost, killed by their own stupidity.
Good call.
Yes. University of Toronto has the most notorious case of that, I think.
Right. So, yeah, the ghosts, they're good at, it's like WWE. It's like sports entertainment in a sense.
I like that. Yeah, that's very true.
There has to be some truth. They are probably getting some EVPs. They are probably in extremely haunted places. They are probably having experiences. I just think the amp up meter is up a handful.
Okay, well we'll get to that in a minute here. Our fair lady Wendy, our grande dame of Mystic Moon Cafe Radio. What you watching?
I've watched Wednesday several times. Like you, yeah, the ending was a little anticlimactic. They'll probably do better as they get into it more. I'm hoping anyway. One that I didn't necessarily like the actors who they cast, but I really liked. Oh crap! Not the Hardy Boys, the girl one.
Nancy Drew.
Yeah, Nancy Drew. Thank you. Yeah, on the CW. That one was freaking just. I mean, they got into some dark nastiness, and there were some really good jump scares as well. And it's fun, that's why I like to watch it. It's entertaining for me, away from everyday normal real life stuff. And let's see, I always like GHI the best out of any of the ghost hunter shows, but I really liked A Haunting. The recreations and the dude's voice and I mean, believe it all, nah. I apologize, but it was very well told in my estimation.
Yeah, I do like the recreation shows too. So, what's Jake watching? Well, let's just okay. So everyone who knows me knows I will just. I mean, this is why we have Discovery Plus. I mean, this is not an endorsement of Discovery Plus. However, if Discovery Plus would like to sponsor the show, just to GoStaddy at Cash Money Dollars, I'm more than happy to hook you up with, a nice little sponsor. Anyway, so I notoriously binge all the shows. If it's on Discovery Plus, because it's pretty much that's the only place where you can watch it. So the one I've been binging on lately is the Alaska Triangle. And what I like about that is apparently Alaska has a Bermuda Triangle type thing with ghosts, monsters, UFOs, and unsolved mysteries. And what I like is there's usually a main story and a short story every episode. So it's kind of like we'll lead with our ghosts and end with a monster eating people in the woods. And it's only like 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And they rotate it. So the next episode's a UFO. The next one's another monster, more ghosts, stuff like that. So you get a little variety, and I like it. It's pretty well made. So for other ghosty shows, I just finished Destination Fear. I guess when we get to riffing on shows, we'll. But on the produced series, yes, I loved Wednesday. That was probably one of my favorites. We can let's put a pin on that one and discuss it a little bit more, because it is. You can tell that the creators loved the source material. And that's always nice.
Yes.
Unlike the last Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where you're like, did you even watch the previous movies, or did you just flip through a comic book one time? But Wednesday, I've been watching that one. And on Netflix, we've actually been watching a lot of like the Polish kind of disaster series, like the one with it took place in Poland and there was the floods. I forgot the name of it. I think it's called In the Deep or something like that. But the other thing is, for movies, I've been watching a lot of Jewish possession horror movies.
Ooh.
So like Lullaby and the Offering, mainly because I didn't know anything about the Jewish culture or religion, and so it usually deals with Hasidic, who are the more conservative or very conservative. I don't know what it's called, but curly, the curls.
Oh,
in the hair. Yeah, Hasidic. Yeah, and so you can learn. I mean, it's a movie, so there's liberties taken. But but I've never been exposed to it before. It's a nice take on it, and I would say the possessions seem to be far more personal, instead of like your standard Catholic possession, which is the demon's in there, let me puke, and I'll bend over backwards and scurry up the wall. It's a lot different from that
stuff. Jake, you know a movie I really liked? It was a found footage movie, and I recommend it to everyone. Hell House, LLC.
I freaking love all of them. I love them all. The Abaddon Hotel. Oh, it's going to rip your soul out. Oh, I love it.
I missed out on that one. I will watch it now.
Oh, man, you need to see this one. Best found footage paranormal show, hands down.
Yeah, you're going to have to cuddle up to Rob because, like, the scares are intense and brutal.
Yes. Yes.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm still traumatized over Blair Witch, so
Blair Witch,
a lot along the same lines.
Yeah. It's funny too because with Coldspotters in Vancouver, anytime any scary movies come out and stuff, we get tickets and do a giveaway and all these things, and they want us to come, and so we'll do an event and invite people to come for the premieres and such. And then I'll go just to, do an event. And then I go there and I'm eating popcorn and I have a hat on and and everyone's like, "You're scared of this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. This stuff is messing with you. This is not like the real stuff." Like, forget it. Paranormal Activity.
Yeah. Oh, Heather got it totally right with Lullaby. Lilith. Lilith is So remember, when you get the book and it's really old and dusty, it's kind of like the Necronomicon or whatever it is from the Evil Dead. Think twice about just chanting or singing anything written. And I'm just saying, if it looks like
usually chant, rip open the wax seal, and say, "Hey, what's up?" I'm going to put you right beside this haunted Ouija board.
So, I mean, when it comes to old school shows, though, for rewatching binge worthy, I didn't really touch on that one, but I have been rewatching Buffy.
Ooh, that's always a good go-to.
Oh yeah, Buffy is amazing, and I'm always down to watch old episodes of Supernatural.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I never watched that, and I should, because everyone's really into it. But I think being from Vancouver, and I don't know if Merle, if you've just had this, but I was so annoyed by them filming everywhere that I just never even want to watch it. But then that also is like, they had the one Sabrina, and we had multiple cases in one street in Cloverdale over a period of time, and there was actually shops that they turned into the shops for Sabrina. So we would go and take some breaths and after investigations and go out and see the crazy, I don't know what the store was, but it was just all haunted, weird items and creepy things. And I was so grateful for that one. But but it's funny. I used to work in a building right in Olympic Village area. And we constantly were our whole area was shut down. We would lose our parking lot because they were filming Supernatural. So I'm like, screw those guys. It's like maybe Merle doesn't discover that, because I think that's more of a female. Oh, get off my lawn.
I have a funny story about Sabrina being filmed here. Redwood Park in South Surrey, Amanda?
Yeah.
So, the opening scene of Sabrina where they go into the creepy field with all the stacks of hay bales everywhere? If you remember that scene specifically. I had a file at Redwood Park, so I walked in. I was all uniformed up, and I walked right onto set, through the set, and didn't. I'm like, what the hell is this place?
Oh, God.
Because all of the actors they were on the side. I'm like, what is going on here? Because there's an urban legend in Redwood
Yeah.
Park. There's a really old tree in there. They say is haunted from the old days. So it was by this tree, and I'm like, what is going on? And then all of a sudden I see the actors, and then I see the producer just put his hands up at me. I'm like, well, you need signs.
I would be like, yeah, I would totally be like that too. I'm just like, then block it off.
For an extra?
Yeah.
I have the key to the city in uniform.
No, see, I would have been like, where's the catering table?
Yes.
Yep.
Hi, I'm an extra. I heard there was pastrami. Oh yeah, that's the one thing we don't think about. Where Amanda and Merle, where you're from, that is the CW. We'll see what happens now that they're canceling all the shows. But from is it what is Riverdale? Is like Abbotsford or around there? Is everything
everywhere?
Okay.
Riverdale was kind of. It just got to it was either sex or demons. So I went.
I mean, that's fun.
And letter jackets.
Yeah, letter jackets. Yes.
Yeah.
Not even 5 minutes from my house right now. They're filming. I think it's Superman. I live in Cloverdale, so I think Amanda would know this area. There's basically this strip in Cloverdale with all the cool old stores and that. But there's this big vacant field where they just put up this like town. But they didn't actually. It's just the front of all the buildings, so it looks really bizarre when you drive by.
Yeah, that would be fun to see. I mean, when I lived in Chicago, you know how they had you got Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, Chicago blah blah blah, and you would see them like they could only do like a block at a time because it was still the city operating during the day, but. They had to film a lot of close-ups because it was just wall-to-wall people watching everything happen.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oops. Let me bring Amanda back in.
Okay, I was
like Zoom. I forgot because it's not like Zoom. Zoom, you just pop back up with our new platform. I have to click to put you back in stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've been having like really kind of. Well, I'm not too sure if I've told everyone, but our house here is very active. In the last 2-3 days, we've been having like insane, weird things happening.
Oh, wow.
And one of them, I did a podcast yesterday, and it was like I got kicked off like 3 times, and I'm like, there's no reason. Like then my phone just died, and it was quite interesting. So
we might have a virtual
let's
ghost
recreate
hunt
that
going on here.
I think so.
We might have virtual ghost hunt.
Amanda, who's standing?
Oh, I know. I actually almost brought the DR60s, but then I was like, no, it's not about that. It's not about your house, Amanda.
Yeah. So, who is the lady with the flowy dress behind you?
Yeah.
That's
Rob.
funny.
It's Rob.
It's Rob. It's his new hat.
In his drag persona, Gustus galore. So I mean, folks, let's we can take a little bit deeper dive here into the shows that we're watching. So Wednesday was one that we had some in common. And I mean, we have to be spoiler free here for folks that haven't watched. Now, if the show was on like 3 years ago, it'd be tough. It's been on for 3 years. We're going to spoil it.
Right.
Just like, don't spoil Jaws for me. I'm like, it's fucking 45 years old.
Right.
It's like pushing 50 years, really.
As old as I am.
They closed the beach for 3 weeks, okay?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, put your fingers in your ears and go la 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 la.
Yeah. I'm like, spoiler alert, the shark eats people.
No.
No, I know. Right?
And also an exploding thing of air.
Yes. That's right. That's right.
Spoiler alert. Whoops.
Oops. You remember, if you have a big shark coming after you, take your scuba tanks off, put it in its mouth, and be really good with an elephant gun.
Yes.
And no problem.
Then punch it in the snaz.
Yep.
Punch it in the snaz.
Yeah, that's
Nah.
what I'm thinking.
Or on the topic of killer fish, just remember that the first thing piranhas eat in the swimming pool is the testicle.
Oh boy.
According to Wednesday.
According to Wednesday. But no, she admitted that it was a failure because they didn't die.
Right.
Yeah, she's like, I failed.
While we're on the topic of shows, though, do you know what show I actually really I like the concept for? It got a little old, but I liked it when Destination Fear. I liked the concept.
Oh, like the one we're about to riff. Well, we're here. Let's riff.
We can riff it.
Yeah, sure.
Like for investigations, I'd prefer to know where I'm going, and I'd prefer to know the history and the respect of the place, and I'd like to know the people that live there because I'd like to talk to them instead of saying knock 3 times, bro. I'd rather have someone to talk to.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I will say between Ghost Adventures, which I stopped watching, and I'll tell you why. Just so I have a high threshold for Zach. I do. But they jumped the shark this season. Specifically what Destination Fear, which is like Ghost Adventures Light, with Ghost Adventures, they have the best haunt porn. They get into all the best places. They make it seem like its own character, which is cool. So was that a monster or your puppy?
he does not agree with you, Jake.
Ghost and a puppy. Anyway.
Yeah. So I got to tell you, though, the twist to this season wasn't really a twist going fully lights out at night instead of like before they'd have a flashlight or something. And just, they don't really ghost hunt. It's they show up and see how fear amplifies the activity in a location. And it's fear-based. But I'm just like, then you wouldn't have the gadgets, people. But
Gadgets are fun.
Yeah, I love a gadget. But this time everything had to be pitch black. They only had their infrared cameras, which of course always failed. But they had really good haunt porn this season.
Those cameras, were they bedazzled? Because that might have made the difference.
I know, no. I mean, I do love Conjuring Kesha's.
No.
Conjuring Kesha's bedazzled. Oop, looks like she lost her Wi-Fi. Conjuring Kesha, starring the pop singer Kesha, was amazing. But she just went around to all these haunted places with her besties, and they got freaked out, and they went on a paranormal spiritual journey to see and evaluate their connection with the unknown.
But they didn't pretend to be anything beyond
Correct.
that. So,
they said they were paranormal enthusiasts, and they're in it for the thrill. And I gotta tell you, after that train wreck first episode, it was fun.
Oh, why are so loud?
Well, we could still hear you, so it's okay. You can curse to yourself. Oop, now we lost her. The ghosts in her house.
Oh no.
Ghostess with the mostest.
Yep, the ghostess with the mostest are at the Quill household.
Guess who's back?
Okay, well,
Woo!
we have you
Quill
with
is
Audia. Okay, now you're back. Now we see you.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? I honestly don't. I have everything all wired in and everything. Anyway, I only got through a little bit of the first episode of that one. And I will go back and rewatch because I love a really good bad show. I mean, like I watched Ghost Loop like boom. Like
that was one of
one.
the worst. It's right up there with Ghost Bait.
Yeah. It's like so yeah, I will. I know that it was kind of interesting, like the things like, I mean, is there any research being done here? Like that the Trail of Tears wasn't an actual trail, but in their show, this trail went right through. Oh no, I'm getting kicked off again. No, I'm not. I'm still here. The trail was getting, was going right through buildings, and it was like the sidewalk, and I was like, wait a second, yeah, so those kind of things do bother me for my own reasons. It's like if you're going to if you're going to do a show for entertainment, cool, but maybe get some of those entertainment facts a little bit more, dialed in. I also used to like Whitney Cummings, and now I just can't even so maybe I was just grumpy that day and I just need to rewatch it.
No, I mean it was awful. I mean it was bad, not
Mhm.
like the other ones are bad fun, but that one was bad.
Yeah.
But it got better. So when you watch the next one, I
Okay.
think the next one is my favorite one, and it's with an Australian pop singer called Betty Who.
Is that the one where they go into the opera house or the?
Yep.
Yeah,
Also
that's
in
the, I think
Tennessee.
that's the trailer.
Yeah, that's another good. I
Yeah.
would like one. And they do one Sasquatch, Bigfoot. They go to Mount Shasta for that one, but then they go back to the ghosty stuff. And I think they end at Waverly Hills with Big Frida. I could be wrong, but Big Frida is I forgot the name of music that it's called, but she's kind of a rapper. That's a hoot to watch.
I like hoops. Yeah.
That's a hoot to watch.
Wait, that sounded wrong.
Amanda gives a hoot.
Yeah. And I don't pollute.
Yay!
Is that a Canadian thing?
A boot?
No, that's
No, give a hoot, don't pollute. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like
And only
Schoolhouse
you can
Rock
prevent.
or-
And only you can prevent forest fires.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Just to backtrack a little bit because I got clearly disconnected, but I went to Randolph Infirmary just this last June. Yeah, I saw you, Wendy, right around that area. And we did an investigation there. Now, when we first went in and we did the full walkthrough and everything, there was one room and it was completely staged and there was fake blood everywhere. And there was I was like, okay, this is quite interesting. Do you do this for do you actually do ghost tours in here? And what it was is a certain show that we just discussed about fear, and maybe there was a destination involved, had just filmed there. So I was like, okay, so I never actually watched it. So I thought it was a recreation show. So then my problem is this: if you're going to go in and throw your fake blood around and all that fun stuff, clean your shit up.
I agree.
Clean it up. Oops, clean your beep up.
No, it's fine.
Oh, cool.
It's fine. You could drop the bombs if you need to.
Yeah, maybe even leave a little bit of something, not for the next team to come in and realize that it's all just a bunch of smoke and mirrors, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was kind of my problem. And then when I finally saw what they did and saw the episode, I was just like, what are you I didn't get it. And I actually posted on her social media about it because ever so often I get so grumpy about it that I do. Because I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And this is kind of feeding into the whole everything is fear and a demon and everything is now. Why do we have so many demonologists? None of them actually have done the work to become a demonologist, and yet here we are in this time. Everyone's
talk to the nice spirits.
Yeah. I mean, not everyone was a dick in life. That doesn't mean that Well, I mean, you could be a dick in death because why not? You can get away with it.
I mean, exactly. Nobody can see me.
That's
I'm a
right.
dick now.
But I'm going to throw a little shade. I'm going to throw a little shade at a company, though I will say I have purchased their gear, and this is from the Ghost Hunter store or the Ghost Hunters equipment store, something. They're out of New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I got, I buy gear. I'm on their email list. They sent me the $40 demonology training course. I pay my $40. I show up to the lecture. I can become a demonologist.
Oh my.
Dude, we can put that on your title.
I know that I would rather be Jacob Rice demon than demonologist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I got a little giggle snort out of that. I'm like, really? 90 minutes of this lecture with this guy who's not even Catholic teaching me to be a demonologist?
Exactly.
Please take my money. No, I didn't sign up for that shit.
I almost want to. There's a recent show now. One thing that I do is I look in the IMDb's and all that fun stuff, because a fun fact is when you're on is that me gone? Nope, I'm still here. Is you will see like whether or not people are an investigator, a paranormal expert, all these titles that people get in these shows. And then you see some that are self. So if you are cast, you get the title, you get the role, right? That's what you're cast as. If you just go in as yourself, or your contributor. So usually it's just self. So it was interesting because there's one show that's very popular right now. And I actually went in to look, and I was surprised to find that a lot of the investigators actually were themselves. I was like, that's kind of cool. I know it's complete and utter hooey, what's going on in that show. But I was like, at least they got that.
You got to name names. Like when we throw shade, we throw proper shade.
I'm not entirely sure. I think it's like 28 days or something. It was based on
28 Days Haunted. Yeah. We've riffed on that one before. That one's open for full skewering if we need to.
Cool. Yeah. So the only person that wasn't like cast as themselves was their demonologist psychic.
Was that the one in North Carolina? Was the big guy or the lady?
It was like a casual moment for me. I only watched one episode, and
that's all you need to do.
That's all I did too.
Yeah.
No, I did
listen to sad music.
Yeah, so I had a little get together one weekend, and we binged 28 Days Haunted. We watched all 6 episodes, and when we were done, it was David Bingo on everything.
I think I watched a trailer and he's like hitting a girl in the head. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like,
the demonologist got possessed at the country store in North Carolina. Now, what I will say about 28 Days Haunted, I will say we got haunts we didn't ever really hear about. And that was cool because they were in Denver at some governor's old mansion. I forgot the name of it. I have to look it up. They were in Connecticut at some place I'd never heard of. And then they were at this little country store on the border of North Carolina and Virginia, North Carolina side. Never heard of these places. But apparently they're known for their activity and stuff. But, when Shane Pittman has to get in his drawers and get in his isolation bath, I'm just like,
okie dokie.
So there was one, and they're like, we have no information about this place. It's not known. When you go to the place, there's humongous like billboards outside of it that like describe everything that happens in that show, like to the public as you're driving by. Yeah. So these are the things, like at least just say, hey, we did a good funny show, or not a funny show, scary show, and it's entertainment.
Yeah.
And I don't like, because it just bugs me, like so many, I don't know why it bugs me. Everyone says it bugs me because I'm jealous. I'm like, what? I'm jealous that I'm not getting scared of this. Like, I don't understand that part. I'm jealous because I'm not on TV. Like, sure, hey, take a paycheck, but be honest about what you're doing. My, yeah, I don't know. Like, that bugs me. And when I see that, like, when they're standing right in front of a sign, probably off camera, reading it word for word, I'm picking up a woman whose name is this, and nobody told us this. And it's like, it's written on the fucking building. The blah, blah, blah mansion. It's like, come on. Like, some of us researchers actually do some research.
Yeah. I think for me, the biggest disappointment, Wendy, you've been on my little streaming thing. We were our little group show watching on Ghostly Cinema. And I have to say, the biggest thing that disappoints me is the whole Ghosts of series. Like we had Ghosts of Shepherdstown, Ghosts of Morgan City, because they're trying to do a story arc, but it's all fabricated. Like when the people show up, that's unscripted. I'll give them that. I believe that's true. But the producers are trying to put a story arc together and they uncover the deep, dark mysteries. I'm just like, who actually believes like you're just discovering
Right.
stuff? I
Oh
mean,
my gosh.
yeah. And I mean, with the first season of Shepherdstown, I appreciated what they were trying to do. But I'm just like, this is an actor you're talking to. This isn't a local yokel.
Mhm.
You know, it was obvious. I'm like, if you want to be real, it kind of means it can't be obvious that it's not. So I was surprised at who they cast in these shows who agreed to be part of it, to be honest. So, if I need to throw shade directly, I'm like Dave Schrader, Cindy Kaza, and I love Cindy Kaza.
How many failed shows can you have? What? Who said that?
We like her.
Yeah, and I'm just like, really, you guys? Okay. I did like the Holzer Files, though. I did like the Holzer Files. I did like that show. Is anyone saying something in the? Oh, Rob is saying, "Donde está mi pantalones?" He needs his pants back.
I let him know I only have his jacket. What's this? What's this jacket I have here?
So Rob, she's plugging your biz
I'm
quite a bit.
plugging
Here. It's okay.
You can buy DVDs on eBay from us. No, I'm kidding. I think it's funny because it's I think That and Haunting Australia is on one of the streams. So now we're getting all these messages from the Australia show and yeah, when's season 2 coming out? It's like it's pretty for me, it's pretty cool to kind of have that different perspective, because prior to that, I think I believed a lot more than I do now, let's say. And one of my shows I was actually a little bit like heartbroken was Destination Truth.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I was like 100% like, no, that's legit.
Mm.
And I feel kind of silly now. It's like, yeah, Amanda.
It was
no.
Yeah, it was all structured. I mean, I like Expedition X and Expedition Unknown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I give for what they're doing, especially with Expedition Unknown. Like, you've got to plan what they're doing way out in advance. And but with Expedition X, I mean, it's a hoot to watch. And I like it because you get a variety of different paranormal stuff. You get aliens, you get ghosts, you get monsters. So I like the variety. But I'm still like, you're seriously connecting some dots that don't need connecting. but I love the show. I do. And I love this. And I know a lot of them are just hooey. But yeah. I love my shows. I love my shows. It's like the people that watch soap operas. I'm just like, I love my shows. I love this guy. Like,
I love my stories.
I love Kindred Spirits. It's my favorite. I watch it for Amy and Adam. They're besties. And, you know, I know it's bullshit, but I don't care.
It's entertainment. Yeah. You enjoy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to hop over now.
He's got a parent. He's got a parent.
I do, and I gotta go to SOR for 9 o'clock. So
okay, so we'll plug that. Merle will be on Ghosts of the Great White North at 9 Pacific, 9:30 Pacific in there.
Ish.
On
been enjoying
Spaced
this
Out Radio.
What's Hopefully that? Not as a ghost.
No, maybe.
Oh.
Cool. All right, guys, this was fun. We shall talk to y'all soon.
All right, take care.
Ciao. Till next week.
So, let's see. Oop. Amanda has been consumed by the spirits again. I think she's coming back.
I hate when that happens.
I know. I heard a puppy bark.
Oh,
Augie wants in.
Well, are we good?
Yep, we hear you. And here you are.
Hi. Oh, hi. why? No, I like that. I like that I'm discovering this all now. For me, like it's to go back and watch all these shows, and even like the paranormal, like reality shows, and even like some of the kind of like the Supernaturals and the Sabrinas and stuff. I like going back and doing that. The one that I forgot to mention that I'm rewatching is, do you remember like it wasn't like Factor. It wasn't the Fact or Faked one. It was like Fact or Fiction, but it was like they would show you all the different stories, and you had to guess at the end which one was the real story. To be like human, spontaneous human combustion and all that kind of.
I thought that was Fact or Faked.
Fact or Faked, I think, was the one where they actually tried to prove if things were fact.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Like with Ben Hansen and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this one's even older. It was like back for like original like unsolved mysteries, and I think it was Fact or Fiction, and it was they would tell different kind of legends or urban legends and recreate it, and then you had to guess which ones were true and which ones were made up.
Yeah. So I have to break in here because we are getting a request from the audience to see the puppy.
Yes.
Oh, the puppy. Okay. The big one or the tiny one? One moment.
Tiny one.
And now they're all making an appearance. One moment.
Okay.
I have a Goldie request.
We got to show the dog. So I mean, this is a dog loving show.
Hi, Brian. Good to see you.
I just can't get out.
What's with Jonathan Frakes?
That must be one of the faked. So Heather, is that one of the fact or faked shows? A Destination Truth or something? Oh, that's a puppy bark.
Champy really doesn't like not being the center of attention. So here we go. Big reveal. Everyone ready?
Oh my goodness. Oh, look at those ears. Oh my goodness. Hi, baby.
And she's actually probably about double the size than when we got her. She's like.
Oh, I see the other I see the other white one running around.
Here we go. Come here. Come here. You can come up here. You can't jump right up, but come up here. So here's
there's
Nessie.
3 babies.
There's Nessie.
Okay.
And then Champy, you can come up here.
Just wait. Did you name them after lake monsters?
What's that? There's 3 monsters. Yeah.
Lake monsters.
Hi, Champy. Champy, come here.
Oh, okay.
Champy. So these 2 are named after the lake monsters, and then this one is named after the baby gargoyle.
Okay.
And now they're doing inappropriate things in front of the camera.
You know, so this is where we say this is adult content. We can blur this in post. Don't stop the stream to the YouTube and stuff. This is just a natural act of animals in the habitat.
Here. Come here. Come say hi. Come say hi. Apparently Champy is camera shy. She's the big fuzzy one.
Okay. Uh-oh, I think someone's being naughty right now.
Oh, on camera. Yep.
I mean, it happens. I mean,
we had a huge flood today, and it's been a big thing. So they're not the happiest of campers today.
Yeah,
so.
I was having power outages, planned government-sponsored power outages to replace lines, and my kids were very pissy with me today. Very pissy with me. So I can relate with that, and we'll forgive the puppies.
Yes.
So if Rob is in the house, this is where Rob comes down with the enzymatic cleaner and the mop and does what is need to be done as a good doggy daddy. I know this. I have 5 dogs. I do this quite often.
Now the puppy just like wants to go down.
So Amanda, let's talk about Canadian ghost hunting shows, which is not something we get exposed to. You got cable channels we don't have. You might have streaming channels we don't have. How different are Canadian ghosty shows?
Well, you know, I think that there's a lot of them that are actually that come out of Canada that freezing again. which I don't think that people really realize. Like a lot of the haunted hospitals and such like that.
Oh,
That's all
Paranormal
Canadian.
911 and okay,
Yeah.
the Alaska Triangle is a Canadian show. I did see it was produced. The studio, I forgot the name of them. I think they're out of Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Okay.
Yeah,
Huh.
I can't remember the name of the company, but yeah, Alaska Triangle is made from. And there's another one like Ghost Loop was a Canadian production too, even
Yeah,
though that was filmed
maybe
in the
through
States.
Blue Ant, or because I think they
Yeah,
do a lot of the.
yeah, it might be
Yeah.
Fireworks Media. I know Blue Ant is big in the recreation shows. They do
Mhm.
really.
Yeah.
So, guys, when it comes to Blue Ant out of Toronto,
Mhm.
they do a lot of the higher end recreation shows.
Mhm.
So,
Yes. Why, if you're watching Haunted Hospitals, you may see someone you know. What? But yeah, there was a few through like APTN, which is our Aboriginals People
okay.
network, and I didn't get to see the new one. There's a new one, and it's all Indigenous team from Ontario, I believe.
Okay.
And then there was like Red Earth, which was kind of more telling the stories, and a young girl would go out and actually learn about Sasquatch and different creatures and such. It's really, I liked it. It's it was kind of geared even towards a younger audience, which was kind of neat too. So it wasn't just all fear based.
Okay.
There's another one that, I mean, it's gone on for quite a while. It's not a very good one. And yeah, I'll throw some shade.
That's okay.
It's like called like Other Side. They're the Other Side, and like they're just
it's like two brothers, they're a family or something, a lot of K2s and psychic stuff.
Yeah, and they do the K2.
Yeah, that must be The Other Side. Okay, that I have heard of that one. I have heard of that one.
It's pretty, yeah, and then it's.
I like Knock Knock Ghost.
Yeah. Everything really works out for them in the end, everything's solved and everything's perfect, and a lot of big egos. They're not so there. But I would love to see more, you know what I mean? Actual because what's going on, like even in Vancouver alone, I mean, Merle can tell you, like it's getting quite to a great place where people are talking about it more. The ghost tours are like flying off the streets. Okay, but yeah, it's like really getting a lot of attention right now. So it's hopefully we see a little bit more of the Great White North.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's pretty undiscovered, especially from the American perspective. For one thing, I mean, Canada's the same age as the United States, and if you really look at Quebec is older than by like 40 or 50 years.
Yeah,
because the French were there in the 1560s in Quebec. So, like, if you go to Montreal, old Montreal, the old port, like that's 1560s, 1570s. Well before the Pilgrims, well before the Mayflower. Yeah.
Yeah, and really, I mean, for both America and Canada, I mean, people have been here for thousands of years. I mean, the history of the land and the history of all that. It's like let's say untapped. It's I always, whenever I do an investigation or go to new locations, that's my first thing is like what's on the land. Let's talk about that first before we talk about the building.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, right now, getting a little more serious, I'm cutting a documentary that was filmed in Yale and dealt with a lot of the Caribou Gold or Caribou Trail, the whole Fraser River Gold Rush time frame. And I've learned a lot about Canadian history with that one. So that was interesting because Americans don't know these things really.
No, they don't. It's quite interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, very rich history for that. And plus, those pesky Americans were always crossing the border and like becoming governors and it's like, then the line gets drawn and the treaty signed and like, you're Canadian now. I'm like, what? I'm going back to Massachusetts.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole area at the Yale and everything, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. We've unfortunately lost a lot of there's a whole kind of like Lillooet loop. If you do it everywhere you go, it's haunted. It's amazing. But there's been a lot of fires and stuff too, which is too bad for the
Yeah,
little
I
communities.
have been to Lytton.
Yeah.
That, and you can just tell, like, it's really weird. It's like the valley was all lit up, but the stuff on the top of the mountains on the other side of it is fine.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's we did a road trip up there and got to investigate quite a few of the buildings there, and that was probably about the summer before it really we lost it. But just so much history, from so many different cultures as well. That whole town was built basically on an old Catholic graveyard. So it's kind of funny when it's like, it's because it's on a graveyard. And I usually try to poo-poo those kind of myths. And this actually was. So I was like, okay, I stand corrected.
I mean, nothing wrong with a fact check.
Yeah, exactly.
But did they move the bodies or just the headstones?
Both. Like somebody was they took out their back porch to build a new back porch with a hot tub, and they found a full tombstone.
Oh my gosh.
So then that started the actual look. So everyone else started pulling up things from their properties and finding like little tombstones and markers, and it was all along the whole side of the town.
Wow.
I will send you guys pictures. It's actually quite wild.
Yeah.
You have footage or anything?
Pardon me?
Do you have video footage or anything of your time there? Or
probably I can send you something. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I know the one thing, and this will be because we're getting close to time, so I can do a little segue. Next week we have British Columbia monsters. And so I will be covering Ogopogo.
Ooh.
Is it Okanagan Lake or Okanagan Lake, or is it Lake Okanagan? It's Okanagan. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will be covering Ogopogo.
Awesome.
Next week. And Canada is full of its monsters, which I will say I have been transitioning, not that way, people, into a cryptozoologist. So this has been fun to learn more about all the monsters north of the border.
Oh yeah, I'm right into that. So yeah, that's cool.
That will be fun. And then you'll be I think you're going to be on next week as for part of this, and so you can teach me how to pronounce everything, because when you go to the Canadian websites with the Indigenous languages, they leave the like an X with a circumflex on it that's pronounced differently. And
and the sevens and the
and I ain't got no way to pronounce that. So.
Yeah, I'll give you a hand on that one. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna need.
Yeah, there's another one that's really, really amazing. Like, I'm absolutely fascinated with Sisutl, and it's like a sea wolf. It's a sea serpent.
Okay. What was this one called?
I saw that. I did see that.
Sisutl, and he basically is like all the way up and goes with Wild Woman too, which also, maybe we'll save some of that information for later.
Let's save that, because I know we've got a few monsters. I know I've got Ogopogo. Wendy, which one were you looking into?
I hadn't yet, actually. I was kind of looking, and you've got your basic ones, and I didn't see any. I just wasn't sure yet.
Okay, I know Merle. I don't know if Merle has taken the Bigfoot angle or not.
Can you tell us what he was?
I know he's got a monster pick. He's got a monster. And we have this little cutie, Goldie, here.
The longest dog in the world.
That's okay. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. But folks, we're getting to time.
In the chat room. In the chat room. Yeah. Any good UFO paranormal shows in Canada?
Ooh. No, I believe that like Unsolved Mysteries and such has touched on Shag Harbor and a few of the. Well, she just left me a present in my lap. So that's really quite interesting. I will look there and post it on your page if I find anything. But no, I don't think so. It's like I said, Untapped. Come on, people.
Yeah, I will say, and this might be the Canadian production, but the Alaska Triangle, let's just say a whole lot of 1950s American military planes have crashed in the Yukon and Northwest for no good reason. And those are unsolved and undiscovered wrecks as well. We actually dropped a nuke off the coast of BC up by Alaska in about 1954. I guess it was an atomic bomb, not a nuke, an atomic bomb. It was unknown. They thought it might have something to do with the Northern Lights screwing up, the gear in the plane and stuff. But because if it crashed, the bomb would go off. So they dumped it in the ocean on the way down, and they've never found the plane. So they think it's somewhere in the Yukon or maybe northern BC. But you know how Alaska, I don't know if I want to call it a panhandle. You know, the strip.
The panhandle.
Was like, it's like on the other side of the panhandle. I forget. Yukon is not panhandle touching, I think. So it might be northern BC.
Yeah,
it would be northern BC, and they've never found the plane.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because those are really high mountains there. It would have been at the highest altitude. So it's just, it might just be sitting there. But apparently the bomb is still in the bottom of, is it the Beaufort Sea? Is that what they call the area off the coast of Alaska? I could be wrong.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It's somewhere in there. Yeah. So Amanda, because we're at time, if anyone would like to get a hold of you and or Coldspotters, what's the best way to do that?
Best way, just me on Facebook, Amanda Quill. We have Coldspotters pretty much everywhere. Coldspotters Vancouver Paranormal is, and the Carolinas is the ones that I run myself. Also, coldspotters@gmail.com and coldspotters.ca. Yeah. Okay. We're all over.
Easy to find.
Or go bug Rob.
Yeah, we'll bug Rob. And of course, we'll have your pack of monsters on next week, of course. And maybe I'll bring one of my 5 monsters out too. I got 5 monsters. Wendy, any parting words?
Not really.
You know, I've been flapping my gums a lot because we're talking ghosty shows, and that can happen.
I didn't want to interrupt you. You were on a roll.
Okay, thank you. I never mean to be rude. My mother's Canadian, and I'm genetic inclination to be well behaved.
I'll call your mom later and have a talk with her.
Okay, that's fine. Please do. You can do that. All right, folks. So with that, thank you for joining Mystic Moon. Thank you, Amanda Quill, for joining us. On behalf of Merle, who had to leave early, have a good night, folks. And Wendy, if you want to take us out.
Join us next week for, obviously, the BC monsters. Canadian monsters, I guess. I don't know if we're going to go east or not with that, but and if you like the show, hit that subscribe button. Anyway, everyone have a great week and weekend ahead, and take it easy.
All right. Watch your ghosty shows. All right.
Watch ghosty shows.
Okay. Night.
Good night.